Hi and welcome back. Okay, I have a definitive answer on which direction I need to follow for the conrods, and that is directly from Sonex. So Nathan, if you are watching, I thank you for the 3 odd emails of correspondence, plus the text excerpt from the book from Tom Williamson, who does VW engines. So he sent me a couple little snappy shots from the book, which clearly states a few things to look out for. So I'm just going to quickly go back over what my dilemma was, so each will understand if I didn't make it quite clear in my last video, because a couple of people, in particular Ron, I just wanted to thank him as well for giving me his take on what I should be doing. In fact, Ron was correct in what should happen, but it still didn't alter the fact that what I had was my dilemma. So very quickly, 2 of my conrods had stamped numbers opposite to the recess for the notch for the bearings. 2 conrods had the stamped numbers directly on the above the notches things. So if I had installed all of these with their notches in the which way does that go? That way, that's that one. So if I had installed these with the notches, with the stamped numbers in the up position, as it says so in the video text, in the video series, only 2 of my conrods would have the recesses on the bottom. So going this way would only have 2 on the bottom. So that was my dilemma. So Joe Norris, when he speaks about the installation of the conrods, he makes it very clear that a lot of these come from varying manufacturers. So he said that the engine that he was installing at the time, his numbers would be in the up position, stamped numbers. He did also mention about having like a bump on top of the conrod, which goes in the up position, but there was no mention about the recesses and which way and what direction they go. So Tom Williamson also talks about the bump on here. He talks about the numbers being, ensure that you mate the numbers together. So if I pull this off, I can't swap it with another rod. That has to happen. But Tom also talks about having the recess for the anti-rotation in the down position. That was my dilemma. Now, again, in Sonex's defense, what Joe did clearly say is that the instructions that come with your engine, you are to follow them because they are updated more often than what the video series is. So if the book says if the book clearly states about, only talks about numbers being mated together, but it does clearly talk about the recesses being in the down position. So therefore, if I had followed the book and not be persuaded, I guess, by what I saw in the video series, then I would have had this built a while ago. In my stupid defense, I think it's very good to be able to still watch the video series as a guide, because I think it's always good to be able to look at which way things are orientated or whatever, just to see someone else build it and see someone, those sorts of things. So I'm going to stick by my watching the video series all the way through this build. If I get to any difficulty, I'll simply ask the question, and then I'll refer it back to the book as being the most correct. So there's the dilemma solved. So just to reiterate, thank you to Nathan from Sonex. Thank you to Ron from the video postings. Also thank you to Brian too about talking about the firing order. I've still got to get my head around top dead centres and bottom dead centres yet. I still have to admit I don't know anything about that. So let me get started on this now and see how I go putting the con rods on the crank and installing it into the block. I'll come back to you shortly. Okay, that's all done, all torqued up to 29 pound-feet. There was 4 stages, 8, 10, 15, my apologies, 8, 15, 24 and then 28. So all done. It's now time to install it into the actual engine casing itself. So I'll go ahead and get all the bearings out. I probably won't do that till tomorrow or the next day, but there you have it, all done. Ready for the next stage. Come back to you shortly. Okay, on to the next part of the build. So we're onto the crankcase now, and we've got a couple of little oil pressure relief valves, plungers, whatever you want to call them, I guess. There's one for the high pressure side and one for the low pressure side. So or the normal operating side, I should say. I hope I've said that right. So I'm going to bring the camera around this way because I've got the casing orientated this way, so it's easy for me to put them in. So I'll bring the camera over here and we'll just go through the differences. Okay, we've got the 2 different pressure relief plungers, if you will. So the longer one goes closest to the prop hub and the shorter one goes more back to, well, more back. Does go back, or the only remaining hole that's left, which is at the actual flywheel end. Now, there is a difference between the plungers. One's just a stock standard flathead plunge, if you will. This one here's got a little bit of a recess in it. You can't really stuff it up because I'll just show you with the long spring, it sort of goes to that point. Can't go any further in, and this one here sort of only goes to there. So just another check. So we've got to lubricate these with a bit of engine oil, which I'll do. Basically what this does is this is the high pressure end, and it allows oil to flow back from the once the plunger's in the open position. It allows oil to flow back into the actual sump, so it doesn't actually go through the oil cooling device, which is on the normal operating side, if I've got that correct. So I'll go ahead now and install these 2 and see how we go in the next few minutes. Okay, I've got those 2 in. The high pressure side, I ended up just stopping to stop filming after a while. It took me probably 10 minutes, and it just kept flying out across the room. And then I finally got it, and then I had this horrible feeling that I actually forgot the actual the end, the little bit that goes at the end of the little plunger bit itself. So I took it all apart again, and then spent another 10 minutes putting it all back together again. But anyway, it's in. That was very, very hard to do, but this side here went in very easily. So let's get on to the next part of the build. Okay, we've got some little stud seals to go in. Yeah, that's tight. Hopefully they are down enough to get the 2 halves together. Okay, time for the cam bearings. Now there's 3 different types here. There's a fat one, a skinnier one, and one with a flange on it. So you can't really sort of bugger those 2 up, but just the orientation of it. So this is the skinny one goes towards the flywheel end, whereas the flanged one goes towards the prop hub end. Now, on this casing, these little notches aren't required to be placed into here. Well, when I say here, this doesn't actually have a recess on it to take that bearing, because according to Sonex, when they make these as a V-dub engine, they only put half the bearing in. They don't actually put it on this side. They only put it on this side, where it actually does have a index notch for it to flip. It's the way that the crank turns. So according to Sonex, it makes little or no sense to me why we would just delete one half of a bearing. But what we have to do on this, because it doesn't have a notch, we've got to file this little section off. So I'll go ahead and file one of those off on the flanged one only, so that'll fit in nice and tight here. Whereas on the other side of the casing, so on the right side of the engine casing, no, the left side, my apologies, so the left side, yeah, that's the left, has the actual index notch on it. So I'll just file one of these off now, and we can then place these 3 cam bearings in. So the flanged one, the fatter one, and the little skinnier one, which goes into there. So I'll just file this off now, and we'll come back shortly. Okay, I've got those 3 cam bearings positioned. I'll just go and get my soft mallet now and knock all those in spot, and that is that part of the build done. There you go, they're all knocked in spot. So let's see what's next. Okay, we've got our valve lifters. Just going to test fit each of these valve lifters in their spots to see if they fit, which that one's a bit tight, and so is that one. Oh, that's not too bad. I'm assuming they have to be a little bit of it's not a tight fit, but I haven't got oil around it yet. Now that's a bit sort of dry inside there, so perhaps I'll just shove my little not emery cloth, my, what do you want to call it, the polishing, this thing. And we'll just shove it down there, and we'll see, give it a little bit of a clean, and see how that goes. Okay, I'll just give those a bit of a clean out, and they do work a lot better. I'm going to give that another little bit of a clean out just to be safe, and then I'll give it a try. Then I'll try the other side. Okay, we've got the dowel pins now. 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. When the crank goes in, there's little locating holes. As in this bearing here, that these dowel pins will slip into, so it stops the bearing rotating, similar to the little knots that we had on here. So I'll just go ahead and put these in. I don't want to drop these on the ground, so hopefully it's all good. That's 1, 2, that's a bit tight, that one. 3. Oh, he says as he drops one on the ground. I did drop one, but I found it, so I'll just get my little hammer and just that's done. Okay, what's next? Okay, white lithium grease now to the inside of this main thrust bearing. And the dowel pin closest to the flywheel end. So that goes on that way. Okay, now 1, 2, so 1, 2. So this one here has the other half of the bearing going on. So we have the dowel pin that way around. That way. Done. Lithium. And the last two bearings, which are already on the pre-assembled crank, have white lithium around them as well. I'm just going to double check whether I put lithium on there. No, I don't. Actually, I don't. I just have it on the bearing itself. So let me just double check that now. Okay, time to throw this in. I need to hold on to 1 and 2. That should be right. Right. Okay, I'm just going to put this last bearing in here now, and then try, and the other 3 bearings across the camshaft, and then dry fit the casings together to see if I've got a sort of a gap around there that's, you know, sort of relatively even. That will tell me, that will give me another little bit of a bite of the cherry that I've got these bearings well seated. Now I can't move them, so it tells me that I've got them in their dowel pins, but I just want to do a double check because that's what the instructions say. So let me go ahead and do that now and see how it looks. Okay, I've put the flywheel on and I've ended up with four shims at about 0.36 each. So what's that? 4 3s are 12 and 6 4s are 24, 144 thousandths of an inch, something like that. I think if I understand the way that these work. I've tried my 0.006. It's got to be between 0.3. It's got to be between 003 and 006. Now, 006 does not fit in. The next one back from that is 005, and that's just a little bit of a squeeze in. These are so thin, these things. 005, there's 005. And that's sort of, even that's a bit of a squeeze in there, so it's probably about 0.4, so it's within tolerance. That's all good. I can now put these shims aside. I'll keep the rest, but I'll tape these off and put these aside, and that's ready for the shims to go in there. So I'll just see if I can get that end play to work for you. Just look about here. You'll actually see that close in and pull apart. So I've done it as best I can. Just double check one more time, just to be safe. I'll go 0.4005, I'll go 0.4004, and that tells me that's what I've got, 0.4. There you go. Okay, take the flywheel off now and get on to the next part of the build. Okay, we're up to the stage of white lithium around the lifters just under the cam now, so I'll just take all those out. So that's all done through there. Now we've got our special cam grease. Oh, get sure it's in there. I think that should be enough. I don't know how much again is too much, but I'll just put that on. So we've got all the cam bearings done, the 1, 2, 3 with white lithium, 1, 2, 3 with white lithium there. We've got the center bearing for the crank with white lithium. These have already obviously been done. The thrust bearing is all done. I've fitted the flywheel. I think we're almost ready to mate these two. I've got to put the lifters in these 1, 2, 3, 4s, which I'll go ahead and do right now. Throw the pegs in the back, and we're ready to mate the form a gasket number 4 first, or number 3, whatever it is, and then mate these two surfaces. Just didn't know if that felt a bit too tight, that one, but I think it should be okay. That is that. I'll put the grease on top of these lifters last, after I put the former gasket round. We'll just throw these pegs into the back of the hole now. Oh, just broke one of my pegs. Three and four. They should not pop out now. They're good. Okay, gasket. Former gasket time. Okay, glove time. Plug time. And gasket goo time. That's it. That's why I'm wearing a glove. I've just spilt it everywhere. Oh my lord, I'm going to have to clean this up before I even start. And it doesn't smell the best either. Made a hell of a mess. Gonna get plenty in there. Okay, that's that done. Now it's all around here. I think that's it. I'm a little bit unsure whether your supposed to do it all inside here or not, but I don't think so. I don't know. Okay, I've done everything, I believe. Ensured that the timing marks are correct on the cam. There's the dot and there's the other two dots there. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, we'll just hold these up now and put these two halves together. Okay, bit of a cleanup. Let's get the bolts out ready for tightening this down. Okay. Washers for the main bolts, or the main studs that go through, and the elastic stop nuts. There's 6 of those to go on. Have I got full and free movement? Yes. Okay. It looks like it's all down. Now I'm just going to double check this movement. Yep, we're good. It is now seated down, so we can now torque these up. So the sequence is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to place one of the washers. Do not tighten at this time. In order to show the photo above, torque the 6 large nuts to 15 foot-pounds. So I can now do the sequence of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 15 foot-pounds. 15. 2. 3. 5. 6. Okay, it says check movement again, so we'll just double check movement. We've got movement. And then retorque to 25 foot-pounds. So retorque to 25. So that's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Do not exceed 25. I'm just going to back it off a little bit. And the same sequence again. Check my movement and apply the Permatex. Okay, so now 25. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. And 6. Done. Now we've got a couple of two small ones here marked A, which need a former gasket as well. So I'll just go and find those nuts and come back shortly. Okay. We'll just move this camera around. Okay, these two have to be 10 foot-pounds, so I'll just nip them up a little bit. 2 at 10 foot-pounds. Okay, there's 10 to go according to the instructions. Maybe that's a bolt through there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm assuming 10. And probably one through there. And maybe one through there. Okay, so there's 3 bolts. 1, 2, 3 bolts. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. 10 bolts. Sorry, 10 nuts and 3 bolts. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then we'll come back to you shortly. Okay, I have done that. All torqued up. And I tell you what, I got this stuff absolutely everywhere. It's all through my book. It's all over my pants, over my face, my hands. Sticky as. But anyway, all done. So I can probably close this one off now and get it posted. Before I sort of go though, I'm going to just cover up these holes with a bit of masking tape. Masking tape, just to stop any debris falling in there, and maybe shove some yellow rags in there just to help keep the crap out. But there you have it, a Sonex block on its way to being built. Come back to you shortly.